Marvel Studios is one of the biggest producers of movies in the world, with the majority of their movies breaking the box office. Aside from their amazing cinematography, one of the things that have helped them stay relevant is fan theories. Each movie leaves a lot of questions that drives fans to come up with answers of their own. In this video, we're going to be talking about the wildest Marvel movie fan theories out there, so stay tuned. First up, Captain Marvel is the new leader of the Avengers. Although most fan theories are just too crazy to actually happen, this one actually really doesn't seem too impossible. Taking a good look at what's left of the team, Captain Marvel really looks like a strong pick, you know? The only one who's capable of being the new leader. In the beginning, when there were just 6 Avengers, Cap and Iron Man were originally considered the de facto leaders. However, if you're current, then you'd know that they're no longer with us. Although the Hulk is present, I don't think he'd want to be the leader of the team. Thor has left and decided to go his own merry way, and Hawkeye's a wild card. With the original 6 out of commission, fans think that Captain Marvel is the only one who can actually fill that space left behind. Of course, she isn't an original member, and some fans aren't really keen on the idea of her just taking the leader's seat. I really don't think there's another option, though. Aside from the fact that she's currently the strongest member of the team, during her earlier appearance, we saw how she took charge of the team. I think she's just a natural-born leader, and the Access playing the role, Brie Larson is not leaving the MCU anytime soon. Avengers aren't gonna be what they used to be, that's just a fact. There are gonna be new faces trying to replace the heroes we fell in love with. I sure hope that they won't ruin it for Marvel fans, though. Next, we have the X-Men will appear in the Avengers. This is another crazy fan theory that's been out for a while. Although I think that it's way too early to jump on this conclusion, the thought of the possibility of this happening, that's exciting. However, one thing that makes it sound so unreal to me is, how are they gonna coexist together? I'm a big fan of the X-Men, and I totally love all of the heroes and the villains, but seeing Wolverine in a face-off against Thanos, that just doesn't seem reasonable. However, many fans believe that it could happen. The possibility of seeing this happen was increased after Spider-Man found his way into the MCU. Also, with news that the Fantastic Four are gonna be joining the MCU, it's not crazy to think that the X-Men could be next. Aside from the fan favorite Wolverine, another major character that fans are expecting in the Avengers is Deadpool. I mean, who doesn't like Deadpool? With such an exciting combo, it's no surprise that fans are anticipating this to happen. However, things don't always go as planned, so I'd advise that you really don't get your hopes up. Nonetheless, if this were ever to happen, I think Marvel is going to experience an extraordinary boost in viewership, and their rival DC Comics is not going to come close. I guess time is really going to be the only one to tell, though. And now, they're going to be a new Guardians of the Galaxy. Aside from the Marvel team, which is going to feature a lot of new faces, the Guardians of the Galaxy are also going through the same. There's a popular fan theory that there will be replacements on the team. Dave Bautista has confirmed that he's leaving the franchise. Man, we're all gonna miss that big guy. Although I have my doubts when he was to be featured in the Guardians of the Galaxy, he really did well. So it's no surprise that he has an amazing fan base that are surely gonna feel his absence. There are rumors that Rocket is gonna die, and with him gone, it's almost certain that Groot's gonna tag along with Thor. I guess that this leaves us all with the question, are there going to be Guardians still? Well, of course, if there's anything that I've learned about the movie industry, it's that money comes first. The producers don't care about our emotional attachments to any character. They're willing to just stuff in a replacement and hope that we love them. That's just a sad reality. With all the Guardians leaving one after the other, it'd be nice to have the franchise end with style, but I don't think that that's gonna happen. We can only hope that the replacements do just as well. Up next, Black Widow might still be alive. We all saw her sacrifice in place of Hawkeye, and it was a super tender moment, one that we don't always like to look back on. So I imagine my surprise when I came across this wild, popular fan theory. Although it's very delightful to hear that there could be some good news, it's actually pretty reasonable. Let's take a little trip down memory lane. Remember that after Tony Stark's snap destroyed Thanos, all of the stones had to be returned where they were originally retrieved from. While doing that, the Soul Stone was never returned. Why? Because if Steve replaced the Soul Stone, Thanos could just find it in an alternate timeline, and then everything would start over, all over again. Fans believe that instead of making this mistake, Steve would prevent Natasha and Clint from getting the Soul Stone in the first place. If this happens, Black Widow would still be alive. Okay, I know I just rambled for a while, and that's all it really sounds like, rambling. But we can't say that it's impossible. You just can't. Fans believe that Steve would have told both of them what was going to happen, and then explained to Natasha that she would have to stay behind on the planet as if she died, making sure that she didn't interfere with the ideal timeline where Thanos was ultimately defeated. This also makes sense because, in the end, Hulk snapped his fingers to bring Natasha back, but it didn't work because she was still alive. M'Baku became the king of Wakanda during the time jump. In the Avengers Endgame, there was a time jump of 5 years, and half of the world's population had just disappeared, including the Black Panther, who is the new king of Wakanda. Although this didn't seem like something we should be, talking too much about, fans seem to be intrigued with the idea of M'Baku being the king of Wakanda. At the beginning of the Black Panther movie, both of them didn't really get along, and after losing the duel, it seemed like the hatred kinda deepened. However, after T'Challa lost the throne and was at the point of death, M'Baku came to his rescue. Throughout the movie, he proved himself to be very honorable. He also matched T'Challa in strength, so fans began to wonder who the most likely ruler of Wakanda was during his disappearance, and no other person came to mind. As king, many believe that he could have also received the power of the Black Panther. I mean, this guy was strong enough, even running at the same pace as Captain America. America, Thor, and Black Panther during the charge against Thanos' army. So with T'Challa and Shuri gone, who else could have ruled Wakanda during those 5 years other than him? In my opinion, he's perfect for the job, especially after proving himself when Black Panther was at the point of death. What do you guys think about this fan theory? Leave us a comment. And finally, Hydra is the reason that there are no X-Men in the Marvel movies. I know that this theory is like contrasting with the one that we just talked about. However, just as some fans believe that the X-Men are going to be featured in the Avengers franchise, others believe that it is impossible. This theory centers around the fact that because of the rise of Hydra, the Avengers can't show up in the X-Men movies, and vice versa. I'm putting this theory last because the thought had honestly never crossed my mind. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. It just hasn't quite happened yet. But here's the reasoning behind this theory, basically. In the MCU, Hydra conquered Germany and stopped Hitler before he began the Holocaust. Because of this, Eric Lenscher was never imprisoned or experimented on. If you're still confused, what this means for the X-Men is that the person who would have become Magneto never discovered his powers. And if there were never any powers, he never would have met Xavier. And hence, the X-Men never would have formed. Even though there would have still been like mutants in the world, they would have been hidden. So, you can see why we can never see both of these teams together. Their existence contrasts with one another. And the other reason is that in the Fox universe, Hydra never rose to power. And if this never happened, then S.H.I.E.L.D. wouldn't have been created. Captain America wouldn't have been created because Iron Man's father, Howard Stark, would have never gotten access to the rare technology, resulting in the arc reactor never being created. Hawkeye and Black Widow would have never joined S.H.I.E.L.D. Considering all the members that are out of the picture, I'm guessing no Avengers. I wonder who thought of all this. Well, guys, these are just a few of the many fan theories on Marvel movies. If you have any questions regarding these fan theories, make sure you leave us a comment.